Hello again, everybody. Right up, so I want to show you a mod here which I consider as the #1 multiplayer mod at the moment. It's a must-have thing. This is called the Beacon Security, and in short how it works is it's a beacon that makes your ship invincible, with more of a focus when you're offline or not next to your ship. So when you're on your ship, then the ship will be completely normal. People can damage and grind as usual. When you log off or are not close to your ship, it will make the ship become invincible, so people can't grind or destroy or steal it. How it works is there's a beacon, which is on the UI, just says Beacon Security in green. It uses the same components as a normal beacon and looks exactly like a normal beacon. Now when I place this thing, you'll realise it doesn't turn on, and it says in red writing it's been deactivated now. This is because I'm within a close range to the beacon, and this makes the ship completely grindable. So right now, I can grind away, it works just like normal. I've got the settings for this beacon on for 10 meters, so when I go 10 meters away from the beacon turns on automatically. And you'll notice when the beacon is turned on, I can go up here, I can grind away, and it does nothing. So it works for the user, for the owner of the ship, and for everybody else it works the same way. Again, when I get within 10 meters, you'll see the beacon turns off. So these are all editable settings in the config. To access the config, it's /bs config, and you get the window up. So here you can see what are the current settings. These are all editable, you can change all these yourselves. I'll go through them quickly on what they mean. So delay before turning on, pretty self-explanatory. This is how many seconds before the beacon will turn on when either you log off or you leave the area of the beacon, which the area is distinguished by number 2, which is a distance. At the moment it's 10 meters set to. So if I leave 10 meters away, it takes 1 second before the beacon turns on. These are all editable, like I said, so I think the default settings are around 60 seconds or 120 for 2 minutes, I think, and the distance is usually about 400 or 500 meters, I think. So only for stations, this is a nice idea. If you want players to just build like a home, which is a station that won't move anywhere, you can have that set on. I must just say as well, all these config settings are only editable by the admin of the server or the admin of the game. Not everybody can change these. So yeah, only the station's pretty self-explanatory. If that's true, the beacon will only work on a station. With 0 speed, so if you do want them to work on ships, but you don't want them to be working while people are moving in the ships, you can have this as true. So if I jump in this big ship here now and start driving around in it, then beacon won't work while it's moving. What else? We've got building not allowed. These are sort of slightly more complicated, but this means that if this is true, when the beacon is turned on, you're not allowed to build on the ship. The player who owns it also, so the ship is not editable. And indestructible no builds, so this means that nobody can build it whether the beacon is on or off. So if the beacon is off, nobody except the admin can build on that ship. Indestructible grind, so this is related to whether the owner can grind the ship. So if the beacon is turned on and it's invincible, the owner can still grind on the ship at least. Or you can have it so they can't. Grid sizes, I really like this setting that they've added. It helps on a server, it helps people to keep the ship sizes down. If your ship doesn't become invincible when you build a huge thing, then it deters people from building huge ships. So really nice little feature added on there. Per faction, limit per faction, so if you got a faction with 100 people, if you ever get a game going with 100 people in it and everybody in the same faction, then that means that obviously you can only build 30 of these beacons in the faction. And also limits per player, so this is nice, you can only have 2 beacons on this setting per player. So I'll give you a quick show here. If I get beacons and I throw 3 of them on here, 4 of them on there, they disappear. There you go, they've gone. So I can only have 2 beacons, and this is related to the cleaning frequency as well, which is 5 here. So 5 seconds. Every 5 seconds it will check to make sure you've not got more than 2 beacons and delete the ones that are over it. I'm not sure if this is going to cause any lag, the cleaning frequency on the server, so maybe you can change this to higher numbers if you're finding any kind of issues. I haven't stress tested this mod yet, so I'm not sure how it will perform with a server with very many people running it. But nothing else, it's a brilliant idea to be able to have people playing and keeping their ships when they're offline and not losing everything, which is the main reason why people don't bother playing multiplayer, is because what's the point in building things when people can steal it when you're offline? So in order to be able to change the values on the config area, you're going to want to use the line /bs set number /name or value. This relates to the number here is the numbers along the sides, and the value is the ones at the end. So when I go into the config here, the numbers are ones on the left, so you know it's /bs set and then number 2, and then you will change it to 20. So we'll change the distance before turning on to 20. So it's /bs set, and then it was number 2 on that list, and then we'll change it to 20 meters. When we do that, you'll see the beacon turns off. So now when I pull back to 20 meters, the beacon turns on at 20 meters now instead. So for example, if we wanted to change the stations, so currently we're using this thing on a ship and it's turned on a ship. If we want to put it to work on stations only, it would be /bs set, it was number 3 and true. And then that means it turns off, obviously, because this is a ship and not a station, which it'll only work on stations. Whereas I think, I'm not sure if we can do this. Let's have a quick peek, see if we can change things to a station. Oh, that's an interesting angle. Info and convert to station. There we go, converted to station. Now in theory this thing, yep, there we go, it's working now because that's classed as station. But because it's station, I don't think it can move very much, or you can't fly it around. So yeah, /config. Looking at some of the things that you can do with this while you're on a server, you can have it so people can have like one invincible station of their own, which is always invincible. If you set the distance to 0, then the beacon will be always on while they're there. So you can give people the option to build on a station within a block limit, which will always be invincible. So it's like having their home. I don't know if any of you played Minecraft or any of those where you've got like the townie mods where you've got your own little area which is saved to you, which no one else can affect. So I really like that idea. You know, you find an asteroid, build yourself a little house, and have it always safe, and then you can work on actually building ships and going out there and having fights and doing PvP, but you've always got a home base to fall back to. If the one thing I've found for playing multiplayer is when you start building ships and things, and then somebody gets hold of them and you log on and you've got nothing. You spend all that time, all that effort, and you just lose everything just because somebody finds it, or you know, for some other reason. So I really like this mod for that reason. I hope that it's going to continue working well. The mod author seems to be working on a lot, and all the updates he does seem to be making sure it works okay, so he's doing a real good job on that. And you know, the same with all Space Engineers mods. If they bring out new updates, then there's a chance it might not work. So it's one of the problems with having this game in alpha still. But I think on the dev branch, I've tried this on the dev. I'm working on the dev branch at the moment, and I've tried it on the stable branch, and it does work on the stable branch as well. So you know, we'll see. Just keep our eyes open. If this game ever actually becomes a stable thing, then this will be a fantastic mod for playing on long-term servers, I think. But you know, even for now, it's great to have something to keep your stuff protected. I hope that this has been informal and giving you an idea, and you know, I've been searching for a long time for a mod that gives you sort of invisibility when you're offline. and allows you to actually play it on a mod server. I think in future, if my server's currently down, I think when I do start it back up in the future, I'm definitely going to have this mod on there. Save for anyone who's running servers at the moment. Throw this on your server because it's really an invaluable tool to have. Please throw me a like and a subscribe if this has been helpful, and I do try to bring out more mod reviews and mod guides on some of the newer stuff. I'm avoiding the old stuff at the moment, but anything new that comes out, I'll try and throw a guide on how they work. So thanks again very much for watching, and catch you next time. Goodbye.